What's going on, guys? I'm the games adjuster Ethan Rodriguez, and today we are talking about the 1 to 4 player game Chocolate Factory. And this is published by Alley Cat Games. Designers are Matthew Dunstan and Brett J. Gilbert. This is one I've had for a little while now. Came out, I think, 2019, maybe 2018, but I think 2019 sounds right. See if it's on the box. It doesn't say right here, so we'll just move on. But yeah, this is a game about running a chocolate factory. And so let me go down to the table. I will show you how it plays, and then we'll come back here and I'll give you some final thoughts. So here we go. Okay, to begin the game, players are going to be shuffling up a few things. They're going to shuffle these corner shop cards here. You got small, medium, and large. They're going to also be shuffling some of these employee cards, which I've got here among the top of the board. These will be drafted later on when we get to the expand and recruit phase of the game. They'll shuffle up the factory parts cards. There's a deck A and a deck B. Deck A gets stacked on top of deck B. Each player has 9 discs that they'll need to put out. You have 3 next to these corner shop cards. You get 1 of each size. Start the game. You'll put 1 next to the 5 scoring cards here at the top, and then you'll also have 1 on the score track up here. I'm just going to show you based on a 2-player game. There would normally be some other colors tokens here, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to show you my tokens. Also, you're going to get 7 of these tiles here. So these tiles are going to be slid into this conveyor belt here on your own player board. And each player is going to get a storeroom and then a turn reference card here. I've got that, for example, right here. Got the turn sequence broken down on one side, and you've got the scoring on the other. All right, I've also set up the resources here. So you've got some coal, the cocoa beans are black, so kind of hard to see in this little holder here. Chocolate fingers, and chocolate chunks. We've also got on the other side, well, those are the fingers, actually, those are the chunks. We've got the nuts, caramel, and then the box chocolates as well. And there's a couple extra tiles. Each player gets 7 tiles apiece. But there's some here because some of the employees that you'll get in the game will give you extra tiles. All right, and so then the person who most recently ate chocolate is going to get this first player piece here. Pretty neat little open wrap chocolate. And you're ready to begin the game. So the game is pretty simple. It's played over 6 rounds from Monday to Saturday. And the flow of the game is as follows. So the first thing players are going to do is prepare. So players will receive coal based on the day. So here in Monday, we'd receive 5 coal. Tuesday, you get 6 coal, and so on as the days progress. And then you'll create a display. So based on the player count, the cards that go in display will change. For the 2-player game, you're going to take 5 every time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factory parts. Shuffle those around, and then you're going to take 1 of each of these employee cards from the 5 different stores, and they're going to sort them into groups. So for example, we might have these 3 factory parts, these 2 factory parts over here, and then these 2 employees there, with finally these 3 here. All right, and so let me zoom in on that for you a little bit. There we go. So basically what these guys will do is give you different things. So the factory parts are different ways that you can upgrade your factory. So here, if I spent 2 coal at the top, I could spend 1 cocoa to make it into a chocolate chunk, or spend 1 chocolate piece, that's a bean actually, and this is chocolate piece, to 2 chunks. So what the players will do, starting with the first player, and then going clockwise, they'll either select 1 of the parts in this packet or 1 of the people in the packet. And these people give you a variety of abilities. So here the director says, double the number of spaces you move if you fulfill the order at the Palace Boutique, upgrade 1 chocolate anywhere on the conveyor, and then take 4 coal. So they can choose whichever set they want, but once they pick 1 of the cards there, the other ones are discarded. So I might take early in the game 4 coal, that's pretty nice. These other 2, part of that packet, will go away, and this will go to me. And the next player would go. So they can either choose this part, 1 of these 2 employees, or 1 of these parts. So they might choose, let's say, this part here, that's pretty good. Or actually, maybe they'll go with this one. Give them a little more flexibility. And then these parts would go away. And then they would pick again. So now, since they took a part already, they would have to take one of these two employees. So let's say they take the supervisor. That supervisor goes away, and then I am stuck with one of these two parts to choose. Again, in a two-player game, so now I might go ahead and take that. All right, and that's how the expand and recruit phase works. So it's a snake draft. First player picks one of the two options in that particular packet of parts and employees. Of the two they chose, the rest of those either parts or employees are going to go away, and just remaining is the whatever was left over. Next player goes until everybody picks one, and that packet size will change based on player count. All right, so back to the board here. After players have done that, you're going to run your factory. So let's kind of look at this factory board a little closely. When you take this factory part, you will need to immediately place it on your board. You have 3 locations already on your board. This location here converts one of these beans into one of these chocolates, if it's in front of it, by paying 1 coal. Okay, this one here, let's say this chocolate was here, will upgrade it. The upgrading sequence is beans to chocolates, chocolates to chunks or fingers to caramel or nuts, and then caramel or nuts to box chocolate, which is the highest, I guess the highest tier chocolate here. So you could upgrade this, so maybe I might spend another coal at this machine, that's the cost, and I'll get one of these. And then you've got here, this is a chute. This is the only chute that's in the game. It's printed on your board to start. Basically, if you have chocolate here as an action and for free, there's no cost to this, you can move this out and immediately put it into your storeroom there. Storeroom can hold any number of items during the round, but at the end it can only have a maximum of 2 items in it, but as much coal as you would like. All right, so let's kind of walk through how this is going to work. After the players, and you would place this again immediately, so I might go ahead and put that, let's put that there. All right, so players will have gotten their coal. To begin the game, it's 5 coal, so we'll take those off and show those right there. And they will go ahead and load a bean, so they'll take one of the beans from the stock, put that onto their first of the 3 tiles left over, and then they'll slide that in to their conveyor belt. And you'll notice the other tile falls out. So as the game progresses, you might have chocolate in there, and that's another way to get it into your storeroom and available for scoring. A reminder, we took this guy as well, so we would immediately resolve this effect, take 4 coal. So we'd actually start the game, start this round rather, with the 5 from the round plus 4 more. All right. Now, after we've loaded that, then we would push the tile through, and then we choose to activate things. So just to play it out, I might, again, go ahead and spin that there, put that back, and get one of the chocolates. Now, if there was more chocolates on my board, I could do as many actions as I'd like. Each factory part can only be used once per action. But after this, I'm done. There's nothing else, so I'll go ahead and load up another bean, and I'll push that on through. And here again, I'll spin another chocolate there, or coal, to turn that into a chocolate. And now maybe I will go ahead and spend another 2 down here to turn this chocolate into 2 chunks. That worked out pretty nicely. And now I might go ahead and spend another 1 here to get another chunk right there. All right, so I've done everything I can basically do. I think I threw that one over here, sorry. And then I would load up another cocoa bean and slide it on through. And then same thing, I could maybe change one of these. I might send that out right there. And I'll spend another 1 to turn this into that. And another 2 to turn this into 2 more chunks. Pretty solid turn here. Okay, that's it. So I've pretty much done everything I'm going to do at this point, and then I would be done. And players can do this simultaneously. Maybe your first game you want to go clockwise order, but simultaneous is going to be my recommendation, and we'll get into that later. So after players have done everything they're going to do and they've operated and pushed their orders through, then they will fulfill orders. So in turn order or simultaneously, again, you can fulfill either corner shop orders or the orders up here at the different emporiums and stores. Now you can only do the stores of the employee that you drafted. So for me, I could only do Salter's Emporium which would be this one here. I did not do anything for that one. But instead, if I had drafted maybe, let's say, the decorator here, this would work out pretty well because at Fresh Fancy, they need chunks to fulfill them. So just to kind of play out again this right now, I've got the miner here. I can't do anything at the Salter's Emporium. I can go ahead and spin maybe well, I only have one of these, so really I wouldn't be able to do any of these either. So the way these work, these small, medium, and large corner shop orders, is they have requirements on them that will give you money or points in this game. So here, if I turned in 2 box chocolates, I would get 7 money. Flip this over, it would be completed. If they have multi-tiers, like this one here, that has chunks and fingers on the bottom, and then caramel and nuts at the top, you can mark that you've done one level of it. You have to do the bottom level first. You pay those resources from your storeroom here, and then you would mark it. And then after you did the next part of the order, you would mark that. You get all those points immediately once you do it, and then this card gets flipped over. You can complete the full order at one time if you have everything for it. So you don't have to wait 2 turns to do that. You can just turn it all in, the chunks, the fingers, the caramel, and the nuts, and then you would get all 13 money, and you'll track that on the board up here. Okay, so everybody would do that as many times as they could based on the cards they drafted and the corner shop cards that they have. Anything on your board stays there until Saturday. Saturday is the only time where things on your board will also go to your storeroom, and you can use those to fulfill orders. And then we would do some cleanup. So you can only store a maximum of 2 here, so I'm good to go ahead and keep that there. You would reset your conveyor tiles. The 3 that you pushed off would go back to the left side. You would replace the completed corner shop order. So let's say I had completed this. I can now choose to have another one there, and that could be either a small one like the original was, or a medium or large. You don't have to replace with the same kind. And then after that, we would move the day marker up here to show that we are on to the next day of the week. And we pass the first player token clockwise to the next player. And you'll complete those rounds until all 6 rounds are done. And you'll notice again the coal increases, so you'll get more and more actions and a better engine because you'll have new parts. Some different employees will come out at different times, and you'll be able to do more of these upgrades. So let's kind of talk about how these scoring here work. This one says if you turn in 1, 2, or 3, you have to have a set, really, so it doesn't really matter the number, it's just an example. But multiples of the same exact type of chocolate, you'll move up on this track here, and you'll mark that with the token that you have set on the side. So you just move that along, and go ahead and do that there. And whoever gets the furthest on this will get 16 points at the end of the game. Whoever's second furthest, as long as they are halfway as far as the furthest player, will get 8 points, and then third place will get 4 points again if they're halfway as far as second player is. This one here, pretty clear, just needs chocolate chunks, just needs the caramel, just needs box chocolate, needs any combination of those 2 items, and you can move up once per combination. And these are all double-sided here, and the B is 3 non-equal chocolates. Here, instead of chunks, it's fingers. Instead of caramel, it's nuts. Instead of box chocolate, it's chunks or fingers, any set of 2. And then here, you've got 2 times. These will get you whatever it is. So this will get you +2. If you do 2 times it, then it'll increase further. So that one's probably the most complicated, but it's really not that hard. As far as the factory parts go, they get pretty interesting. So here's some of the B ones. We'll start with some of the A's here. You've seen this one pretty similar. This one here is pretty cool. You can spend a caramel to get a box chocolate, or nuts to get 2 box chocolates, which is cool. And then some of the more advanced ones here, where you can spend this by itself. Let's see if we can find a really cool one. That's really cool, really expensive, 3 coal, but you can spend a bean into 2 box chocolates right away. So if you can put that earlier up on your factory board, that might be pretty powerful. This one here too, 1 bean into 2 chunky chocolates, which is basically the same as this one, same cost as this A part, except you don't have to get the chocolate first to get the 2 chunks. You can just get the bean into 2 chunks or 2 fingers, or any combination mix thereof. Some of them will just give you 2 wilds of anything that you want. Very expensive, but that's pretty neat too. and they have fun little artwork on them. You can see the caramel here, the little chocolate pieces variety pack, more caramel in chunks. This is like a chunky caramel bar. Kind of hard to see there, but if you look at it closely, that's what it is. That's pretty much it. At the end of the game, you'll count points for whoever was the furthest on each of these based on how I outlined before. You'll also get points for whoever completed the most orders, gets an additional 12 money. You'll also get points for having kind of a variety of emporiums visited. So if you did 3 of these different cards, then you'll get 6 points. If you did 4 of them, you'll get 12. If you did 5 of them, you'll get 24 points. Each time you go around to 50, you'll take one of these 50 coins here and put that with you. And then each one of the chocolates or coal that you have left over in your storeroom will be worth 1 point apiece. You'll track your corner shop card scoring throughout the game, and then whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. All right, there you go. Let's talk about it. So we'll start with the theme. I think the theme is awesome. So it is very much feels like running a chocolate factory. The way the conveyor belts move along on the track, the fun chocolate pieces. I hadn't seen the chunks and fingers and little candy shaped pieces before. The wrap candy, those are really neat. The box chocolate, they're just hexagonal pieces, or maybe octagonal. I'll have to count the sides. 1, 2, 3. No, they're hexagonal. Cubes are cubes. Even though those chocolate cocoa pieces are kind of rounded, so they're not normal cubes, and the beans, I've probably seen that, but the wrap candies are really cool. The little finger and chunk bits, the way they're kind of painted on there is really cool. And it just really helps the theme to come out. Great as far as running that conveyor belt. That's really, really cool. As far as the production goes, I would say it's mostly pretty good. Like I said, the pieces are awesome. The conveyor belt dual layered board is really neat. The artwork on the cards is cool. My only complaint with that is that it's not enough artwork. So if you look at the employee cards for the different stores, it's the same picture with different colors. So maybe the girl has red hair and then she has blue hair and then she has pink hair, or the guy has a red suit, then it's a blue suit. It's not really unique artwork. It's just the same artwork, copy paste, fill in a different color. So it's serviceable. It doesn't make every card look the same, but I don't know. I would have liked some more. Well, I do know. I would have loved some more and unique artwork for each of the different stores. Also, the corner shop card just kind of seemed like a lot of wasted space. The lines that you actually need to read are pretty small, and there's a lot of just negative space on the bottom that does nothing. So maybe if they could have filled up that whole area, like done picture, picture, amount, line, picture, picture, amount, line, so that you could put your token on the entire area instead of having, especially on the 3-tiered ones, having to like slide it ever so slightly up. So that seems like a little bit of a miss. But beyond that, yeah, everything's very good. The little board that comes in the middle folds out. Everything fits very neatly in the box. I've got it all bagged up and it's very clean. And yeah, there's no insert with it that I can recall. I think I had one of those paper ones. I just threw that out. But overall, yeah, I mean, it's really good card quality. The tokens are really cool again. The boards are nice. It's just the artwork maybe could have used some better improvements, or the graphic design on those corner shop cards. So beyond that, the rules are pretty simple. They give you the reference cards that do a great job of walking you through the rounds. I did play the solo mode, and the solo mode rules are pretty easy. It's pretty easy to administer what they're doing, and you just have kind of like a row of cards you're trying to score out. Very simple. Um, it can maybe the first time you play, it's not really a rules issue as much as it is the kind of game that it is. Because if you play, and maybe this is, I'll save that for time. But I was going to say you might run into a situation where someone maybe accidentally cheats if you're running simultaneously because they don't realize that they've done something wrong. So you can run into that sometimes. Not that big a deal. Not really a rules issue, just a player issue that might come up because of the simultaneous play. But beyond that, breaking up the packets is pretty self-explanatory as far as what you need to do. Drafting is a pretty easy mechanism we've all done. So yeah, overall, I think the rules are simple and good. The gameplay is fun. It's a really neat little engine builder where you are legitimately building a little engine factory pieces in a chocolate factory, which is cool. There's not a lot of player interaction outside of the drafting part, the expanded recruiting phase. So if you're looking for that, you're not going to find it here. because it is basically after that just a heads down, do your own puzzle. But that's okay. I don't think this game is trying to be a heavy interaction. I like that there's not like some random attack card in the middle of those employees. Everything is just to benefit you or give you another action, so that's cool. I like that not only are you making a decision on which employee you want for their immediate benefit, whether that be an immediate thing, an ongoing benefit for the round, or a once-time action in the round, but also which one you draft will dictate where you can score at. So if you are maybe trying to get way ahead on this one track so you can get that first place bonus, you might have to really zero in on that one type of person every round, even if their benefit is not that good to you. Whereas if you're trying to diversify, you have to know, play the cards right and kind of see what the other players are doing, so you know maybe when you need to draft the part, and then you can wait on the employee, or maybe get the employee first and then get the part last, and just kind of get with whatever you're stuck with. Plus those parts too. You only have 8 total spaces on your board. So as you're drafting those, you're going to end up with quite a few of them. You're going to end up with 6 extra cards. So you're going to have to cover up something at least once. And so which ones do you cover up? Do you cover up something you just got and replace it with a new one? Do you cover up one of those early ones that come on the board? Or do you cover one of those up early? Do you even cover up the chute maybe? The chute's really cool because it helps you get things out faster, but they will eventually come off. So if you can maybe wait on that, it might, and if you got a really good bunch of items going, you might just cover that and then let them come off at the end. Saturday, everything's coming off anyway, so you could just build up to a really big turn at the end and score really hard on one of the departments as well as several of those corner shop cards. So that's pretty neat. And it's again not really anything we haven't seen as far as getting set collection and you're turning it in to score on different points or different cards and different objectives, but it comes together well, is what I would say. And so the last 2 items here are going to be pretty much my biggest negatives on the game. So time wise, if you don't play simultaneous, it's a little long because there's so much that you're doing on your own turn. Each time you push one of those tiles, and you get to do 3 of those each turn. So that's 21, I'm sorry, 18 pushes because you get 6 rounds, 3 turns each round. And each time you do that, you're looking at all your factory parts to see what can I run. Oh, I'm going to run this, and wait a minute, oh, hold on, I'm going to rerun this one first, and then I'll pay this. And you got to kind of keep all your accounting with your coal just to make sure that you can do it. And then if you miscalculate, you're going to have to really rethink that. And if you're running that one at a time, it's really slow because there's a lot going on. And all of that, it could just be one part of your 3 turns. So you need to probably run it simultaneously every time if you really want to enjoy that, enjoy the game. But then also, again, not that they're intentionally cheating, but you might run into a situation where someone maybe didn't pay the full amount they're supposed to, or misread something, or did something wrong, and you can't really catch it. So if that bothers you, you may not like that. But yeah, it can be a little long if you are going turn at a time. Also, it says 60 to 90 minutes. No way. If you're taking a turn at a time, it's like at least 4-player game, probably 2 hours, maybe longer. In a 2 or 3-player game, you might still get it done 60 to 90, but you got to all be going really fast. So simultaneous is the way to go. And then the variety. There's not a lot to explore here, honestly. So that Factory A and Factory B deck, you're going to see all the cards in there every game. Now, you won't use every single card because the way you split them into packets, there are going to be some thrown away every game, but you will see them. So that I wish there was a little bit more variety there. The corner shop cards, there's a ton of them, but they're not all that different. So there's not, as cool as it is to have the different chocolate pieces, there's not that many. So you're either scoring the caramel or the nuts, or a combination of caramel and nuts, or the chunks and the nuts, or the chunks in the box of chocolates. It's not as varied as the score goes, and it's not like there's a different conditions. You're really just getting the matching piece and turning it in. So, and that's the same thing with the department store cards. I do like the ones that maybe need to all be the same or need to all be different or require certain combinations instead of just the one-for-ones, because it does give a little bit more thought. But again, there's only 2 sides to those, right? So it's not really that different. And then same thing with the employees. There's some like a miner that'll give you 4 coal, and there's another miner that might give you only 2 coal. So yes, they're different, but not really. So and you're going to see all those just like the factory cards. There's exact amount that you'll see every single one, every game. Um, maybe you'll see one extra. Maybe there was one extra you won't see because I think there actually is 7 per deck, but you only get 6 rounds. So those you may not see all of them, but I'm pretty sure you see all the factories. And even if you don't see but like 1 to 5 of them, it's not that much variety, especially when there's only 2 different ways of department scoring in the game. So add on to that the fact that the unique player art or character art isn't there. It's just different colors. I feel like that's a little bit of a miss. So overall, I think it's a cool package. Definitely very unique theme. And it's got a great box cover, really fun, very, Willy Wonka, Chocolate Factory, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory vibe here, which is really cool and fun. And so if you're looking for something unique, this is the way to go. For me, it's not saying in my collection I have just other engine builders that I like a little bit better. My game group doesn't really like it that much, so that's another really a reason why it's leaving. But I still give it a solid 7 out of 10. I think it's really fun. I don't know how much replayability you're going to get out of it in the long run because of those limited items that I talked about. But if you really just like trying something new, this is really cool. The conveyor belt part is something I haven't seen in a lot of games, and I think you're really going to enjoy that. So there you go. That's my thoughts on Chocolate Factory. Let me know if you've played this game in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts were. If you have other games similar to Chocolate Factory or maybe even have that conveyor belt mechanism, share that in the comments as well. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.